Hello everyone, Meisterang here, and what do we have? Well, we have a jester who says two evils among those. I find that hard to believe, but it's possible. Yeah, we're trying to get our win streak back up to 183. We have two outcasts, only one of which is real. Five... Okay, the Oracle thinks 5 is a puppeteer. That's cool. You know, let's see if... Let's just self-confirm the Plague Doctor. Okay, Plague Doctor's good. Yeah, so Bombardier is fake. Oracle's evil. And the Jester is probably good. Oh, okay, Dreamer's lying. Okay, could the Dreamer be the puppeteer, and then the Jester be the puppet? No, that's impossible, because then the Jester should be saying 3 evils. Okay, so the Dreamer has to be corrupted. Oh, that means the Confessor is the puppeteer, and... Oh, I didn't even click the last person. Okay, whatever. Okay, Bombardier has to be real, because there aren't any face-down outcasts, and this is the only outcast that's face-up. Alright. So 3 is good. Alright, Original Baker. Yeah, 8 has to be corrupted by 1, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. 1 pair of evil, that is probably false. Nice. Yeah, so it was one of the knitters was poisoning the real knitters. Okay. We might have a doppelganger. Okay, we probably have a doppelganger. There's no corruption, so if I decide that somebody is not telling the truth, I can kill them. So we know the bishop is truthful. We don't know if the bishop is a puppet. We have 2 puppeteers. Okay, well the bishop cannot be lying. Because if the bishop was lying, the bishop would be evil, and then the bishop's statement would have to be true. So the bishop has to be telling the truth. And... Okay, I could kill the enlightened, and then possibly I kill a good person, and then I kill 2, and 2 is the puppet. And then what? Let's see what this judge thinks. Judge is telling the truth. Okay, that's cool. Closest evil's counterclockwise, so this poet thinks that the hunter is probably evil. And then the poet thinks that the Lilith and the puppet and puppeteer are all next to each other. Okay, what if this poet is good? Then it has to be these 3, which, I guess the bishop is the puppet, the poet would be the puppeteer, and yeah, that's not possible. So if this poet is telling the truth, then the poet has to be the puppet, which means it's safe to kill this poet. Okay. Wait, I mean, the hunter still thinks the poet is evil. Okay, the Lilith is not 1 card away from closest evil. Closest evil is counterclockwise. Okay, that is almost certainly true. Well, yeah, it has to be true. Because if this person's evil, yeah, this person cannot be the Lilith, so this person has to be telling the truth. Which means this architect is good, which we already knew the right side was more evil anyway. Well, I don't know if we could be 100. No, I guess if the architect... I don't know, whatever, it doesn't matter. We know that now. So the bishop is kind of accusing the enlightened. And closest evil's counterclockwise. It has to be false. Wait, okay. So if this poet is the Lilith, then it has to be 4, so it could be 1 and 4. So if I kill the hunter, so the hunter's good, and the poet is the Lilith, and yeah, this bishop cannot be the puppet, because then the puppeteer would be telling the truth. Okay. We have a dizzy confessor. Let's just see if she's corrupted. Alright, cool. Good talk. Plague Doctor is telling the truth. The lover is accusing the hunter. Let's see what the fortune teller thinks. Okay, fortune teller's good. Dreamer's good. Scout. The scout cannot be evil. Because then the scout would be telling the truth. So the scout, either 8 is evil or 2 is corrupted. So the thing is, 5 or 6 has to be evil because they're both accusing each other. If it was just one accusing the other, then it could be corrupted, but we just kill both these guys and good round. Yeah, the scout was corrupted. Very good. Okay, there's only one outcast, so and the wretch is always real. So like the outcast situation is completely solved just at the start of the round. This bishop has to be lying because there are no outcasts as far as a real bishop could see. The Empress is claiming that 1, 2, or 5 is evil, which is true because the wretch counts as evil. So 1 and 5 have to be good. We don't know if they could be corrupted, so that's why I'm making an exclamation point. Oh, okay, I can kill this knight, and then if the knight is corrupted, then I can kill 7. Yeah, just like that, because we already established that 5 is not evil, and there's no other way for somebody to be corrupted. Alright, we have another Pook around. No evils adjacent to this lover. Well, we know that that's false. This druid can't really do anything other than say there's no outcasts, because the only outcast is the wretch, which does not appear as an outcast. No corrupted characters. Well, that's clearly false. Well, I guess it's possible that it's true if it's like Puka plus minion. You have to well, that's not possible. I don't know if it's like okay, is it actually possible that the Puka is completely surrounded and that nobody is able to be corrupted? Well, one thing we can do is say for sure that this bishop is corrupted, actually, because the bishop cannot be evil. Because if she was evil, she would not include herself in her claim. And if she was telling the truth, well, she would not say that there's an outcast because there's clearly no outcast. So this bishop is good and corrupted. Okay, so we know the bard is lying. The only way for somebody to be corrupted is if they're next to a puka. And since the druid is not evil, the druid cannot be a puka, which means the bard is the puka. Awesome, we're doing great. Evils are not adjacent. I guess since the knitter is lying, that means either the knitter or the gemcrafter or the lover. One of those has to be the twin minion. So this enlightened is telling the truth, which I guess we already knew because counterclockwise you go 2 spaces to get to the wretch, and at the very least clockwise is 3 spaces to get to the puka, since the druid and bishop are clearly good at this point. Okay, if this lover is evil... Wait a second, now I'm confused. So this lover is clearly lying. Oh my goodness, okay. I was getting confused because I I saw this gem crafter saying 4 is good. And in my head, she was saying that this lover was good, even though clearly 4 is that one. Alright, let's just kill this lover and get out of here. Wow, another small hook around. Okay, Oracle's telling the truth. It's weird that she would say a role that doesn't exist. Oh, because she will always say 1 out of 2 characters is specific minion role. There are no minions, because the Puka is a demon. Anyway, this Oracle is telling the truth. 1 has to be good. This hunter is clearly lying, since he's 2 cards away from the wretch. What about this bard? Well, okay, we know the wretch is good. This bard, if this bard was lying, so there is no drunk because there's only 1 outcast, and the wretch is always real. So there's no drunk. So the only way this bard could be lying is if he is the Puka or he's next to the Puka. He clearly is not next to the Puka, since the Oracle and the wretch are not the Puka. And if he was the Puka, then he would have corrupted 5, and 5 would be lying. So this bard has to be telling the truth. So either 1 or 4 is corrupted. Which means, yeah, if 1 is corrupted, then 2 is evil. Oh, well, we know that 1 is corrupted, actually, because 1 is good, but she's lying. The closest evil cannot be clockwise if there's a wretch 1 space counterclockwise. So yeah, she's corrupted, and this hunter has to be the Puka. Alright, well, I'll just click somebody with the Dreamer. This ability is going to recharge, but like, it's like, okay. Kind of useless anyway. Okay, so minion. Yeah, like using it before I have identified any eels is like, feels like kind of a waste. Okay. I hope that 8 isn't an outcast. Anyway, we know this Confessor is good. Okay, what if this Gem Crafter is not truthful? Well, you know, I'm gonna have the Dreamer click the medium again and see what happens. Okay, so the Dreamer is saying that, yeah, because the Dreamer selected different roles when I clicked the medium twice, either, yeah, so the Dreamer, yeah, okay, so the Dreamer a real Dreamer can only do that if the person I'm targeting is not evil. You know what, let's see what the Jester thinks of the Gemcrafter and Lover. 3 evils. Okay, cool. Okay, well that's probably a real Bombardier. So I'm at low enough health now where killing a drunk gets me into one-shot territory, I guess. Alright, well, cool. I should have killed this Jester before clicking the next... Okay. Yeah, I probably should have killed the Jester before clicking the last card, since a Jester that's lying is pretty much useless. Anyway, 2 is telling the truth, which means 5 must be good, since a truthful dreamer would always claim the same role on an actual evil. So 6 is a real lover. Okay, this lover is telling the truth. This medium could be the drunk. Wait, okay, could this medium be the drunk? This medium is the drunk. Then 6 is not a real lover. Instead, 6 is a doppelganger. And, then I guess that means the Bombardier would be evil. So it's possible that the Bombardier is the last evil. Actually, no, that's not possible. Because if this Bombardier is evil and both of the outcasts are accounted for, then there's nothing left to account for this lover, saying one evil adjacent, because clearly none of these three are evil, and the lover cannot, there's no more room for the lover to be lying. So this medium is not the drunk. So 6 is a real lover. Anyway, I don't even know where that gets me. Let's see what this Lilith says about, okay, the Lilith says there are 0 evils among 4, 5, and 6. Okay, I was not expecting 4... I don't know what I was expecting. Okay. Alright, another puka round. The funny thing about rounds with just a puka and a plague doctor is if I... Well, so I know the plague doctor is real in this case. But if I know the plague doctor is real, I just need to find one person who's corrupted, and I automatically win the round. Like, look at that. Wow, 3 is evil. Great job, plague doctor. I mean, I was getting pretty close to a solve anyway. Alright, Baker is not truthful. There's only one outcast, and it has to be the wretch. So this bishop is not telling the truth because, yeah, the wretch doesn't count as an outcast for the bishop. So this bishop is lying, and this bishop cannot be corrupted because she's clearly not next to a puka. Awesome, we're doing great. 5 or 7 is a twin minion. That is false. Yeah, so I think the 2 and 4 just have to be surrounding the puka, and that's the only way they could both be lying. Yep. Alright. So 6 thinks that 9 or 4 is evil. And then the Empress thinks that 9, 4, or 2 is evil. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to think if that, like, gets me anywhere. We have 2 outcasts. We have 4 evils. I could have the judge self-confirm on 7 who is dead, but 7 could be the drunk. Okay. I definitely want to use the judge's ability. Okay, well, how about... I'll see what the judge thinks of the Empress. Okay. The Empress is kind of accusing 4 of being evil. And... You know, I'm gonna see if 9 is evil. Okay. 9 is probably not evil. I can't be 100% sure because 9 could be the wretch. I recently, like my last loss was to a wretch that got killed by a Lilith. Anyway, let's just kill 4 and see what happens. Okay, so 6 is lying. Okay. Great. I could have used a Slayer to, like, try to kill one of these people. Anyway, Oh, okay. I guess 7 and 9 are not the wretch. Sure. I mean, I put myself in a situation where I can kill the drunk at any time and lose immediately, so that kind of sucks. Um, Alright, the poet thinks that 10 or 3 is evil. The bishop thinks that 4... Well, okay. The bishop thinks that 5 is evil. So the counselor is sitting next to an outcast. Okay. Okay, so 4, 5, and 9. 4 is a villager. If 2 is telling the truth, then 4 is the villager, 9 is an outcast, and 5 is evil. And then 7 is the other outcast. Okay. Which, okay. Then what? Then there would be, then there would be a puppeteer and a puppet remaining. Okay, let's, yeah, this is the hypothetical that starts with the bishop telling the truth. Yeah, so the judge is good, the 9 would be the outcast, and, oh, we actually know for sure that the alchemist did not cure 1 corruption. Okay, let's see if the Slayer can kill 10. Huh. Okay, suppose 10 is evil. Huh. Okay. Well, that's interesting. I'll just make this little arrow. But yeah, suppose the bishop is good. Good and telling the truth, I guess. Yeah, 4 is the villager, 9 is the outcast, and 5 is evil. So 2, 4, and 9 are good, which, yeah, that checks out. 7 would be an outcast. So we have, yeah, those are the 2 outcasts. And then, yeah, 5 would be the Lilith. And the alchemist is lying, so the alchemist would have to be evil. And then the architect is also evil, and the slayer has no excuse for failing to kill the alchemist. Okay, so it is not possible for this bishop to be truthful. Okay. I don't know if the bishop could be, corrupted, but either way, we know that this empress is is good. We know this empress is good. This empress cannot be the drunk because we know that this bishop is lying, so 5 has to be a villager. Oh, yeah, and a villager cannot be corrupted in this lobby. Okay. Now what? Yeah, so one of these is a puppet. Okay. And... Yeah, so one of these has to be evil? Is that true? Does one of these have to be evil? Well, suppose this poet is the drunk. Then these guys are good. Well, actually, this alchemist is either the drunk or evil. So this poet cannot be the drunk, because then 10 cannot be the drunk and 10 cannot be evil. Okay. Okay, so the alchemist could be the drunk, and then it's, you know, one of these two. And, huh. So, yeah, 2, 4, 9, 7, 9, and 4. Yeah, I have all of the information that I could possibly get from the two empresses. Well, okay, so either the architect or the slayer is the puppet, obviously. Um, and then who could be the Lilith? Could this architect be the Lilith? No, because then it would be these three, and the architect would be telling the truth. Okay, could the slayer be the Lilith? And the architect is the puppet. Um, yeah, and then 10 is the drunk, and the poet is telling the truth. So it could be 1 and 3. Okay. 1 would be the... Yeah, 1 would be... Yeah, 1 and 3 would be evil. And it's impossible for... Yeah, so it's possible that 1 and 3 are evil. Is it possible that... Okay, suppose 1 is good. Okay, then this is the puppet. Yeah, 3 is the puppet, and 10 would have to be the Lilith. Because if the right side is actually more evil, then we need 2 on the right, 1 on the left, and 1 in the middle. And this does not work, since, yeah, this hypothetical doesn't work. 1 cannot be good. 1 cannot be good and truthful. Oh, also 10 and 3 just can't both be evil because of the poet. Oh, okay, so with the poet, it's 1 out of these 3 is evil. Okay. So the right side is more evil. Oh, right, okay. So the right side is more evil. So it cannot be the poet. Yeah, the poet has to be good. And, the alchemist... Oh, it could be that the alchemist is the drunk and 3 is evil. Or it could be that 3 is the drunk and the alchemist is evil. Yeah, so it's one of those two. So we know that 9 is not a drunk. We do not know about 7. Actually, we can ask the judge about 7. Well, what does that tell us? If I ask the judge about 7, wait a second. So we have to have 2 outcasts. And we know that there is no wretch. Okay. Yeah, there's no wretch. There has to be a drunk and a doppelganger. Okay. Yeah, 9 is a villager. 7 has to be a doppelganger pair with, you know, somebody else who's on the table. Yeah, alchemist, slayer, judge, empress, poet. Those are all different. So 7 has to be a pair. And we know that... Okay. Yeah, we know that 4 and 5 cannot be the doppelganger. Okay, so one of these is the doppelganger. And also one of them is the drunk. Um, great. I mean, I don't think I can get actually. I don't think that I can get anywhere by thinking about the doppelganger. But yeah, right side is more evil, so 8 must be good. Oh yeah, so this alchemist is for sure lying. Oh, okay, so I know that this alchemist is lying. Let's see if the Slayer's lying. Okay, they're both lying. Awesome. Actually, the Slayer statement is truthful, potentially, if the, if the Slayer is evil. But yeah. So the judge is saying that the Slayer is not truthful. Yes, the Slayer is either the drunk or the Lilith. Okay. Cool. Yeah, so they're both lying, which means it really is just a 50-50 at this point. Wait, why did I kill the judge? I mean, that was clearly my mistake, but I don't know. Yeah, the only person who references 10 or 3 is this poet who references them both. I just have to kill one of them and hope for the best. Okay. Yes, so we got it. Good job, team. Yeah, so I started this off. I think this was winnable up until the point I killed this judge. So, yeah, I clicked these 4 people, and then... Yeah, the judge said that the counselor was lying, and, yeah, click these 4, and then what, 5, 6, 8, and 10. Yeah, yeah, so the counselor... Yeah, the counselor was kind of in a 50-50 with the judge. It was possible that 9 was the wretch. Um, but yeah, I needed to do this. I needed to not just, like, kill the judge. Um, yeah, so 7 was a doppelganger, and 8 and 9 was a jester. Okay, cool, I guess. Well, let's see. Yeah, I didn't even use the judge's ability for the second time. Like, I could have confirmed somebody. Who could I have confirmed? Oh, I could have self-confirmed the judge off of the drunk. Yeah, because the drunk was guaranteed lying. So the judge tests himself on the drunk, and then that probably makes it that probably makes it kind of easy to solve. Oh, let's keep going. Okay, I guess 7 is a doppelganger. And, well, I guess we don't know if the poet could be the puppet. 2 evils adjacent to this lover. Alright, I'm killing this lover. Yeah, well, it's like if the lover is, well, there's no corruption, and if the lover was telling the truth, then I just kill both 1 and 3, and then it's actually solved, because one of them is the puppeteer, and then I just kill the puppet. But yeah, so 7 is a doppelganger, but also I mean, I guess 3 could have been the puppet. Whatever. So 7 is a real doppelganger. That has to be true. Yes, 7 is also good. Okay. I mean, yeah, 7 is a doppelganger, which means 7 is good. It is not possible for the gem crafter to be a puppet, because for that to happen, 8 would have to be a puppeteer. But then the doppelganger can't be a medium, because there's no other medium. So we actually know that this gem crafter is good and not the puppet. We know that this medium is good and not corrupted. 4 is a real architect. Okay, so 4 is an architect. Great. That also means that 3 cannot be the puppet. And I think that we just kill these two and the round's over. Okay. We don't have 2 outcasts, so goodbye, Plague Doctor. Okay. Okay, so 6 is good, and 3 is not corrupted. Okay. So 3 is either evil or good. That's cool. Closest evil is equidistant. Well, 2 is almost certainly corrupted. So 3 is probably not evil, which means that 4 is probably evil. What did I... Okay, I got ahead of myself there. Oh, yeah, but 6 is not evil, which means this gem crafter is telling the truth. I guess there's no corruption other than the person standing next to the poisoner. Closest evil is equidistant. Okay, so if that's true... Well, this can't be true. So 3 can't be evil, so it just has to be 2. Yeah, no corrupted characters. Well, if I believe this bombardier, then yeah, 8 would be 8 would be telling the truth. Well, okay, this poet is telling the truth because yes, 6 cannot be a villager, and if the poet was lying, if the bishop poet was lying, oh, speaking of which, there's also a bishop that's telling the truth. Yeah, if the bishop poet, if they were lying, then 6 would have to be a villager, but 6 is clearly not a villager. There's also no way for any evil to affect a villager, so goodbye. Closest evil is clockwise. Yes, that must be true. Wait a second. Yeah, so 3 has to be telling the truth. 4 is telling the truth. So I think 3 is a doppelganger and 6 is a fake. Yeah. And then what? Alright, judge is probably telling the truth. Fortune teller, yep. Oh, okay. 4 cards away from the closest evil. What do you think, Plague Doctor? 1 is evil. Okay, well that's true. Sort of. This hunter is good and corrupted. That is the only source of corruption, so goodbye, Confessor, who's claiming to be corrupted. Druid is evil. Oh, and the round's over. Awesome. Oh man, is this another Plague Doctor Puka round? Oh, you bet it is. Man, that was easy. Yeah, just find somebody who is not truthful, and the Plague Doctor's up for the easy win. Okay. Oh, wait a second. We don't have a single corrupted... We don't have a single source of corruption. Right? Okay. Easy round. Not even close. We do have a possible Plague Doctor. So I can't just start killing knights yet. Is this guy really 4 away from the closest evil? Nah. Okay. Alright, so this Empress is claiming that 6, 7, or 8 is evil. Okay. If there is no doppelganger... Well, okay, suppose that there is no doppelganger. Then one of these knights is evil. And then this Empress there's no way for this Empress to be lying. Yeah, so that's not possible. Neither of these knights can be evil. So they're both good, which means they have to be a doppelganger pair. Okay. Closest evil is equidistant. Well, yeah, that's false. Really? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, what did I get confused about? I was like, oh, if one of these knights is evil, then... Oh, because... Okay, yeah, because 7 was a plague doctor. Okay, yeah, I forgot. Whatever. Lucky me, I guess. Having a plague doctor get killed by a puka is super dangerous. Yeah, this bishop is not telling the truth. This fortune teller has to be good. What does this fortune teller think about those guys? Okay, fortune teller's lying. Fortune teller's corrupted. There are no corrupted characters. Well, there's either a doppelganger or a drunk, so I can't just kill that bard yet. We have a witch, so I can't, yeah, so we have a witch, so I can't physically flip this last card yet, which would be really nice to be able to do. Okay, anyway, this witness is clearly telling the truth because 8 was killed by the Lilith. Okay, so what? I suspect that 6 and 7 are a doppelganger pair. What if they're not? What if 6 is evil somehow? Then, I was gonna say then there's no doppelganger, but I actually can't be sure of that. Okay, so this Gemcrafter is claiming that Enlightened is good. Okay. What is this fortune teller? Well, I'm gonna... We're just gonna have this fortune teller test herself. Alright, fortune teller is truthful. Okay, I don't believe in this Enlightened. But what if she's telling the truth? Okay, witness is evil, Gemcrafter is truthful. Then I guess it would have to be 1 and 9. Yeah, so if I kill 5 and 5 is good. Okay, well, this is not evil then. But yeah, so if I killed 5 and 5 was good, then everything is completely narrowed down. Yeah, and we just have yeah, just 2 people left, and I had enough health to kill one of them. Alright, well, that's another 20 wins, so that's a good stopping point. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.